What up? Prince Sports here. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe to your boy. All right? Yo, I want to talk about LeBron James, okay? To this day, people still compare LeBron James or try to debate LeBron James with Michael Jordan. But if you go career for career, prime for prime, I think it makes more sense to compare LeBron to Larry Bird. Now, they're both small forwards. They're both in discussion for greatest small forwards of all time. And there's some people that think Larry Bird is still better than LeBron James. There are some people that will pick Larry Bird over LeBron James. Now, here's the thing. Larry Bird is just good as a passer as LeBron is. He has some incredible passes in his career, and he's one hell of a playmaker. Don't ever sleep on Larry Bird's ability to pass the ball. Matter of fact, I could even upload a video of Larry Bird's greatest passes. I mean, I got film on all these guys. But when it comes to scoring, LeBron's better at attacking the basket than Larry Bird. But Larry Bird is still a better shooter than LeBron James. So they both score in two complete different ways, but at the end of the day, their scoring is not too far off. It's both 20 plus points a game. They both have seasons shooting over 50% from the field. They both have numerous MVPs. LeBron with 4, Larry Bird with 3. Okay? Now here's what I think has a little separation. LeBron has 3 finals MVPs. Larry Bird has 2. Okay? So that's indicating that Larry Bird wasn't the main man for one of his finals championship wins. That's a strike on Larry Bird's career when you want to compare him to LeBron. Okay? I personally will go with LeBron over Larry Bird, but not by a lot. Okay? It's by a couple nose hairs. Okay? But when you compare these two, they really have almost the same effect on the basketball court. LeBron's more of an athletic version of Larry Bird. And I think they should be compared more than comparing LeBron to Mike. LeBron's accomplishments compared to Mike is a little bit short. And I don't think he's ever going to catch up to Mike in terms of dominance. You know, like I mentioned it several times in some of my videos from the past. There's just some things that LeBron will never catch that Jordan has already. And it's a little too late in LeBron's career. In order to surpass Mike, I'm not saying Mike is the all God mighty. All right? I don't do that for nobody. But in order to surpass Mike, you know what it's going to take to surpass Mike? You're going to have almost a storybook type of career. And you're going to have to, the bar has been set high. So you may have to go undefeated in the finals. You just may have to. And you're going to have a couple of scoring titles. It don't have to be 10. You know, it could be 8, 9, 7, something like that. But one thing's for sure, you're going to have to win a couple of championships in a row, and you have to dominate the league, meaning that you have to dominate it in terms that people will say, hey, this guy stopped people from winning championships. You can't just do it in your conference. You know, like LeBron dominated the Eastern Conference, undefeated in the Eastern Conference, okay? But he didn't dominate the whole NBA because he had to face a Western Conference team in the finals, and he's lost more times than he's won. Now, I understand that there have been certain situations that pertains to some of these losses, but we also have to look at it, don't look at it as half the glass half empty, because LeBron left some of those championships on the table. 2011, if you put Jordan in that same situation, Jordan wins that championship. You give Jordan a player of Wade's caliber, who's arguably a top 3 greatest shooting guard of all time. Let's just say, for argument's sake, it's the top 3 best, I don't know, center of all time. Okay? Because you can't have 2 guys play the same position. I mean, you probably could move Wade over to the point guard or something like that. I mean, they would have to work something out. But you give him somebody, a top 15 player like Bosh is, with one of the greatest players of all time, that's like a top 3 in his position, they beat the Dallas Mavericks. You know, there's no way in hell Jordan would get outplayed by Jason Terry. There's no way in hell Jordan will average 15 points a game in the finals. I broke that down and told you Jordan never averaged less than 20 points a game in the finals. Never. He's always had 20 or more. Okay? Never. He's always showed up in the biggest stage. And a lot of people sit there and say, oh, what Jordan would have done against the Golden State Warriors. Keep in mind, Jordan played a similar team to the Golden State Warriors. They didn't have the Kevin Durant factor, but they did have the Golden State Warriors factor, and that would have been the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns had 3 All-Stars, and Thunder Dan Marley was known as a lethal three-point shooter. A lot of people don't know about that, but he was hitting those parking lot shots, those crazy parking lot shots before Steph Curry. You know, he wasn't doing it at the clip Steph Curry is, but he was still hitting those type of shots. And Jordan averaged 41 points a game against 3 All-Stars while shooting 51% from the field. So just imagine what he would have done against Steph Curry and Clay and Draymond Green in an era where he's more free to score. Think about that. Jordan was 40 years old, was becoming the oldest guy to score 40 points. 50 points in a game. He still holds that record. He's the oldest guy to score 50 points at 40 years old. So just imagine what he would do if he was in his prime. This gives more credence to the fact that he would have averaged at least 10 more points playing in this era. Easily. Even a guy like Isaiah Thomas, who was a dog. Isaiah Thomas would average 10 more points a game in this era. Isaiah Thomas was one tough-ass cookie. Okay? He was a warrior. And that Detroit Pistons team, man, they could have three-peated too if it wasn't for that ghost call on Bill Lambert. But that's another situation. LeBron James is closest to Larry Bird in terms of like ranking to a certain extent because they play the same position, and Larry Bird, to a lot of people, is still considered a top 5 player. So you can add Larry Bird and LeBron James in your top 5. And that'll be more equal. Some people don't get Larry Bird or LeBron in their top 5. They pushed them out. But Larry Bird was always in people's top 5 until a player like LeBron came and pushed him to the side. And keep in mind, Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant, they want a piece of this pie. Okay, don't be surprised if Kevin Durant sneaks up and tries to take LeBron out of that best small forward picture, or Kawhi Leonard. Anything can happen. But LeBron James should be compared to Larry Bird way more than he compared to Jordan. We should have more of those debates, if anything, than comparing him to Mike. Peace. And what do you think about it?